The way, seriously.
This is how I'm going to start every show.
You really shouldn't. I'm so embarrassed for you.
Don't be.
Hi, Tasha. How are you?
Listen, man, I'm fading fast over here.
Yeah, I understand. I get it. Right? Which makes today's topic even more apropos.
Apropos.
When to push through and when to rest. So, admittedly, we've had a hectic, at least last couple of weeks, right?
Oh, girl, I thought you was going to say year. I mean, listen, I feel always tired.
Yeah, like as if this broadcast is any indication, we generally would have sent out an email, we would have done a blast, we would have had people know. Like, so we just out here freeballing, just straight.
Well, I mean, the conversation is always organic.
The conversation is always organic, right? Yes, but the prep work, letting people know that we're here.
Yeah.
That none of that happened.
Well, listen, if you happen to be on Facebook or YouTube tonight, because if you subscribe to our page, you will get an alert and you are in the place tonight, please, shout us out, drop a comment in, and we'll shout you out.
For sure. All right, so let's get into when to push through and when to rest. We talked about this week, and listen, you and I, probably have been accused of being ambitious, goal-oriented. You are the busiest woman in the world.
I mean, I would also say, loyal and good accountability partners, right? Because oftentimes when I don't want to do something, because I know that my accountability partner is on the other end waiting for me, I'm going to push through.
Yeah. Yeah. And, the flip side is we also give each other grace, right? So, just to let you all know how we've been managing this week, we generally work out about 3-4 times a week.
Yeah.
Right. Today is Thursday. We last worked out on Monday.
Did we work out Monday?
I think we worked out Monday. Tuesday and Wednesday we didn't work out, right? Because I was beat down tired, then you was tired, and
one of the mornings just there needed to be a very long talk had.
Yes.
That's right. Dressed to work out, and
we were both dressed to work out, right? And we just needed to, right? And so that's giving the grace, but it's also like we have, and our friends and the people and the women that we know, we have a lot of balls we're juggling, right? There's careers, there's entrepreneurship, there is home, there's family, there is education, there is community mentoring.
Right.
I'm on my homeowner association board, like all these things. I mean, we have responsibilities and we have to show up in the best way all the time.
Yeah.
And it's not always easy.
Right. One of the, articles I was reading about when to push through it. And my husband often makes this analogy about all these balls that we have in the air. And some of the balls are glass and some of them are rubber. Mm-hmm. Right. So, and I think some of them change. Sometimes it's glass and sometimes it's rubber, but you have to determine if you're juggling so many, which of those rubber balls can fall, because I cannot let this glass ball fall, but I know the rubber one's going to bounce back, right? And so the article talked about making sure that you know if you are pushing through, what's the sacrifice, right? What's that rubber ball? Is it sleep, right? Is it sacrificing, missing a homework assignment or, being, too tired to show up for your shoot at work or something like that, right?
Well, I think something that set me free years ago was, and you'll hear me repeat it all the time, is something that Tony Robbins said: everything important is not urgent, right? We have this sense that, oh my gosh, this is important, I got to do it. No, everything important is not urgent. So that sort of, at least for me, kind of helps me to sort of manage how much energy I'm going to get to something. Because I will have to stop and say, okay, is it important or is it urgent?
Yeah.
Right? Because it doesn't have to be both. They're not mutually exclusive. I mean, they can be mutually exclusive.
I mean, for me, sure, everything that's important is not urgent, but I've learned that if I'm no good, I'm no good for anybody. And I got a lot of bodies that I need to be good for.
That's right.
And so, if I got to stop or turn it off, then that's it.
Yeah. And for me, I will, I'm real big on boundaries, right? So I've got, and I know my people in my life who are very high strung and stressful. I know who they are. And so I have to be particularly sensitive because they want to put that energy on me. So,
Yeah.
like, for example, I've got a good friend, we work together, and I was off. And I was very clear that I was off. And so when I got the phone call, voicemail, we're
Mm,
not talking. So then I got a text, hey, are you really, really on vacation?
really, really.
I'm really, really on vacation. Yes, I am. Unless you're talking to me about a good restaurant or you just want to talk to me about how your day is going in a general way, then yes, I'm really, really on vacation. And I'm not, no, we're not talking anything that's professional.
Yeah. Boundaries are important and you have to set them early on, right? I mean, especially at work, because if you show up as the new guy, always trying to like, oh yeah, I'll answer my phone at 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock, it's never going away. They're gonna
Yeah,
keep
and
calling you.
oh, it's never, and you've seen that with people that you work with, and
Yeah,
they never break the cycle. Oh, they got me. They got me. And so when I went on, when I left and I was able to break free and go someplace else, oh, walk through the door.
this is what it is,
This is
right?
what it is.
I'm also very clear, right? I've joined a couple new teams, right, since I've, been here, and I start off with, listen, this is how I work. These are my non-negotiables.
Yep.
And this is what my time is, right? I have
Yeah.
a non-negotiable on Wednesdays at 12 noon, middle of the workday. That one right there, that's my time.
Yeah. That's right. And I think people feel like sometimes that if you say that, you are being rude or you are being you're not being a team player, and that's absolutely not the truth at all. It's just about setting guidelines so you can be the best performer,
Right.
right? I mean, so I talk to people who I work with all the time, like, please, if you respect and you want a good quality of work, then you're going to give me the time to produce good quality of work. If you do not, then we have just assumed that you don't want the best quality work and you're going to get what you have. But your failure to plan does not make an emergency for me.
So listen, we're talking about pushing through
Yep.
or resting. When we talk about setting boundaries, do you think it's equivalent to, creating that baseline so that you know when you're actually pushing through or just putting in work, right?
Yeah, I think obviously everyone's baseline is different. I don't know. I don't, and we've talked about this. I don't know that I fully understand what a baseline is. Like,
So I'll give you this is what I think. So the
okay,
example is for us in working out, we talked about it, right? Our baseline is 4 days a week,
yeah,
right?
hmm,
Now, let's say we have a goal because we have a trip planned to some island in November, right? And we're like, well, hey, we're gonna get 5 or 6, you know, days in, or even for sure a solid 4.
right,
I think, if we're tired, but we have a goal, the pushing through to that solid 4 or 5 or 6 days, that's a push through for us, right?
yeah,
For some people, 2 days is a push through because you only work out really once a day. I mean,
yeah,
once a week, right? And so
yeah,
the baseline for us is whatever, our 4 days. And so got a different goal, right? The push through is going to be okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and get up on Saturday, or I'm, not going to
yeah.
sleep on this day because I'm pushing through because I've established what my baseline is.
Well, and we initially started with 3 days, and then it was like, yeah, we're not doing enough. Like you and I are, we are particularly healthy people, and we like to stay active, and we like to be in good health and good body and whatnot. And so it was like, yeah, we gotta do 4, but we also said we need to do yoga, right? So there was a balance that we did set, right? And so if that's what you mean, okay, I get baseline, right? So we said we're gonna do 4, But Wednesdays are yoga because that's also part of good health. Just being able to not, yeah, to give your body the opportunity to stretch and really relief in different ways.
I mean, yeah, I can give another example of, baseline and pushing through. My baseline is 10:30, right? I go to bed at 10:30.
That's a bedtime, but okay.
If not before, right? If I can.
Right.
And so for me, doing anything thought process wise past 10:30 is pushing through for me.
Mm,
Right? So if I have to stay up and do a paper because I've chosen to use, my allotted study time during the week for something else, right? Me staying up past 10:30 is pushing through.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll say for me, like I've been editing, right? And so you and I always talk about, I do a lot of creative work. And so the last several days I've been editing video and it's been fun stuff, but I have to know when to stop because it's also creatively draining.
Yeah.
And so I will just give myself permission to say, you can go downstairs, have a good meal, and watch some Insecure and find out what's going on with Issa and Lawrence, right? And just not even think about this stuff.
But your example is a good one too about pushing through and when to rest. You have a goal to get to
Yes,
for some very particular rest this weekend, right? And so right
yes.
now you are pushing through so it can be done.
I'm pushing through, but in fairness, going to your point, I've also made a plan.
Yeah.
This was a plan that I put in motion months ago, and I told everyone that I work with around me, this is when the deadline is.
Yeah.
Everybody get in line. 3 months ago, here are the deadlines, here are the benchmarks. Let's get it together. Thankfully, right, it hasn't been as stressful. It has been comfortable. And I've been able to take the breaks that I've needed to take so that I could, continue to push through.
This is why
But
Gail and I always tell you that you should plan things, right? Because it
listen,
takes the stress off of you. I wish she was on. She'd be like, "That's right, Tasha."
first of all, no, she wouldn't. And whatever. That's all I have to say.
But yeah, I mean, so that's part of it too, right? So having the plan, pacing yourself, understanding that there may be times, and in your job in particular, we know that there are times where there's a lot of creative work, and then there's just, some more like easy walking, right? And so
Yeah.
understanding those parts are important as well.
But listen, let's just talk about our friends, and we have them who are consistently reactive. The reality is, because they don't give themselves time to rest, they are burnt out a lot.
Yeah.
Right? Let's just talk about unhealthy energy. Let's just talk about not sleeping well. Let's talk about gaining weight, not eating well, a poor attitude all the way around,
Mm.
right? Like it could develop toxic energy, right? I mean, and so what's the upside, right? And so, but now there's the flip side. Don't be that person who's lazy, right? Don't be like, I'm resting, but you don't get nothing done
Ever.
because you lying. You lying. No, good and hell well, this ain't rest. This is just you being trifling.
Right.
And there is a difference.
There is a difference.
Yeah,
When I say I'm resting, you know that I'm actually resting.
exactly. Yeah, for sure. And I take great pleasure, right? And
And
in
hosting those that need to rest. You do it for all your girlfriends, right? I know I can name a few.
yes, Lord. And I just sent one just sent me a card. Listen, here's a card that I got in a picture that I got in the mail.
Hey, Anna.
Yes, exactly, right. Anna, you can tell it's Anna. Because she was just here and we had a great time. And so that respite is important, knowing when to do it, taking the time to do it. But again, managing that line, there's push through, there is extremes of just always doing and always doing. Those people, that energy makes me uncomfortable Because I'm like, that ain't, you can't even be happy if all you're doing is stressing about something else.
Listen, and it becomes unhealthy.
Very.
We talk about, if he thinks he's pushing through at work, you know, it's really not because it's unhealthy. When you are forced to take a day off because you have a doctor's appointment because you're dealing with so much, right, that it's manifesting itself physically in your body, you can't even enjoy your day off
No.
because you got to go to the doctor.
Right.
Yeah.
And,
Uh,
and then it starts making me think, well, what you so busy for? I mean, like, what do you think will happen if you don't do this, right? You and I talk about this. We both are gainfully employed, enjoy our jobs, enjoy what we do. But God forbid something would happen to us tomorrow. Guess what?
they're going to keep it moving.
They're going to keep it moving. So this idea that you are essential to air is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So you might as well take the rest.
Listen, I know it, right? And so every year I'm working like, I do work like somebody else might come in and, scoop it up. But
Sure.
yeah, I know I'm definitely know I'm not invincible. But I wanted to mention the, when to rest and something that I've learned in my life. So things being untidy bring me anxiety. And living in a house with 4, sometimes 5 other people, my children included, um, everything is not going to be tidy.
Yes.
And I've had to learn to rest through the untidiness at times. Now, some nights I push through and just come through with my arm and the broom and at least just put it in a corner,
Uh-huh.
But
Let me tell you something. That ain't nothing but a good gangster E. Let me tell you something.
I'm trying to tell you. If
Gangster
you
E
ain't
taught you
never
right.
had a whooping out your sleep for not washing the dishes at night, it will change your life.
Listen, I've never had one.
It'll change your life.
This is why.
You
This
do
is why
not
I would be like,
you do not go to bed with dirty dishes in your sink.
I absolutely do, and say, and tomorrow it will be there, and
Yeah, no,
tomorrow,
not at my house.
yeah, and tomorrow so that is so okay. So this is the whole idea of pushing through and rest. Yeah,
Every night I push through that. There's no dirty dishes in my sink ever.
yeah. And see, it's very interesting. I rest. I'll be like,
Yeah, no. That's one area that I don't.
yeah, tomorrow. It's okay. Tomorrow morning, we'll get this together. Because guess what? When I come upstairs, I can't see them. I
So
can't see
I
them.
feel that way about the toys. Sometimes they're not as orderly, right? I can just close the bedroom door.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But I prefer them off of the floor, all of them.
Yeah. So then, well, that's a whole nother thing, right? Anxiety. What gives us anxiety and why? Oh, child, tune in next week.
She said, tune in next week. What gives us anxiety and why?
Because that's a whole nother
I
thing,
can
right?
name a few things. Yeah,
Because you become anxious. It's a physical feeling for you. It's an anxiety.
it is.
And so, whereas I'm like, I mean, now granted, I do not keep a dirty house. I don't like a dirty house.
Absolutely not. Right.
Right, right. Not
I'm on
at
the
all.
extreme.
Right. And I, however, will, and listen, I like coming into my home and feel like, oh, this is nice. Like, oh, you working for something, girl. This is what
That
you working
Tiffany
for.
Haddish. That Tiffany had. Oh, this is nice.
Yes, that's what I want when I walk in my house. That's what I want when I walk in my house. And so, but like I said, but the flip side is, listen, dishes be damned. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. I got to go. Tomorrow, God willing, and the creek don't rise. Them dishes will be there in the morning, and I'll get to them then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But no.
good. Okay. Well, yeah, no, I can't rest on that one. But I will say, sort of summing it up, right? When we talk about when to push through and when to rest, like you have to establish a baseline first.
Yes, you do.
Know that to know if you're even pushing through and actually doing something or just being lazy, right?
Yes.
Second, I think what was the point number 2?
See.
Do you remember?
Point
Pacing.
number 2, pace yourself.
pacing yourself, right?
Yes.
And then making the space, like you said, your calendar, scheduling time for the times that I know I'm gonna have to push really hard and for rest, right?
And I'm going to throw a fourth one. Everything urgent, everything important is not urgent.
Yeah.
It's just not. It just isn't. And so
So
that
make
is
your
a really,
choice tonight. Push
yeah,
through or rest. Me
yeah.
tonight, I'm going to bed.
And tonight, because I have a busy day tomorrow, I'm going to push through tonight. But be
Oh,
sure, but be sure, the next several days, I will rest.
good, 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 good.
I
All
will.
right,
All right, Tasha. I will see you soon.
all right. Thanks for joining us
Take
tonight.
care. Good night, everybody. Make sure you follow us on hello. Make sure you follow us on Accountability Queens. You can go to our website at accountabilityqueens.com. You can also follow us on social, on
Hey,
Facebook.
Brother Anthony. See you soon.
See you soon, brother. See you soon. Right? You can follow us on our social media. You can find us there. And I gotta stop doing that. Dang it, man.
Hey, Felicia.
Damn
Good
it.
night, Miss Nan.
Good night, everybody. Take care. See you soon,
Bye.
brother.